Well, Neil Jordan, it's your first time, I believe, in Cannes. How grateful are you to Mona Lisa for that?
To Mona Lisa, to my film. Well, I'm very grateful, obviously. It's lovely to be here, and it looks like it'll be a very good festival to me.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever, at any point when you were shooting the film, think that it would not only get selected, but get such an already pre-critical acclaim even before people have actually seen it? There's a very good word of mouth about your film. How does it feel for director?
Well, as I was making it, I wanted to make a very powerful piece of film. I wanted to make something that was very simple, you know, about the simplest of things, really, and but yet very direct and very powerful. You know, so obviously I hoped it would affect people powerfully, you know, and it seems to be doing that. So I'm very happy. I did hope that we would get into the festival, because I've made 3 films, and each of them I finished in September or around Christmas time, you know, and it was never right to try and submit them into Cannes, really. So this one, it was just right, so it's wonderful.
What's the symbol behind your film title, Mona Lisa?
Well, the film is about, it's one of these hopeless, wonderful love affairs, really, and it's the song by Nat King Cole I've always loved, really. It's nothing to do with the painting, Mona Lisa, really. It's just the kind of strange 50s romanticism of the song, which goes, I mean, it's like, Mona Lisa, you're the lady with the mystic smile. It's about a man who will never understand women, really, you know, and that's what the film is about as well.
Is that very much a man that may be a little bit like his own director, then?
Pardon?
Are you, in a way, similar to this man, to this George, who is a man who maybe is always hopelessly looking for something that may be not understanding women, as you say?
Yeah, well, I think everybody is. You know, everybody is, really. No, this is one particular man who will never understand women. I do my best.
You directed the film, but also, I know, wrote it. Is the director, when shooting, faithful very much to the writer?
Yeah.
Or do you change the dialogues in the film as it goes?
Yeah. I direct and write because I would not be able to do anything other than that. I would not be able to make a script that I could not change, you know? And like when making this film, we changed it constantly with Bob Hoskins, who plays the main part. If something was not right, or if some suggestions came out of the way we were rehearsing a shot or a sequence, I would just change the script instantly. You know, we improvised a lot in this movie. I couldn't imagine directing a film without the freedom to change the script as it goes on. You know?
Funny enough, with Neil and myself, George was something that we both found. We were looking for George, and we sort of found him together, you know?
The way you develop the character, I think you had to have a script and you had to have a working style created around you that left you that much room.
Oh, yeah. Well, funny enough, the development of the character, I spent most of my time looking at birds in cages. You know? I used to take Rosa over the zoo and look at these birds. Because you know that, you know when we first talked about it, and you were talking about this guy, he is a free spirit, but he's been in prison and he's trapped, and they're all trapped. Well, that speech at the end where we added, you know, I mean, she's trapped.
Yeah.
And this guy, point about George was that he did have a wonderful, innocent freedom, but he was trapped within the framework of this dark sort of cage around him that was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you know, caused by his own affections, caused by his own love.
Is, in a way, the final result on the screen very similar or very different from the original vision you had of the film when you first stared at the blank page, basically?
Yeah, well, it is quite similar. What I wanted was something that went progressively deeper and deeper and deeper, and I wanted us to end up with something like a very operatic feeling, a feeling you get at the end of Bizet's Carmen, something like that. A very deep, tragic feeling, which is very difficult to visualize because it's a feeling, you know, and it's actually very difficult to predict. but I think that we did reach something like that feeling.
How did the casting of people as, you know, were different as Bob Hoskins and Michael Caine come about?
Well, it's a London movie, and it's if Mona Lisa comes out of a tradition of films, it comes out of a tradition of London films of the London criminal underworld. I suppose like Brighton Rock and Get Carter and The Long Good Friday, which Bob also appeared in. And Michael Caine appeared in Get Carter, actually. It's one of his best roles, I think. And I mean, it was, first of all, the part was to a large extent written around Bob Hoskins. You know, after I had written the first draft and Bob read it, he was just absolutely the person to play that role. So I basically shaped the part of George, the central character, around Bob.
Is there any similarity between George and Bob Hoskins?
Between George and me? Yes, I think there was in some period of my life, but certainly not now. You know, I'm sort of married and happily married with kids, and that's my life. I'm a very happy man, but George is a very sad man, but hopefully a very funny man as well. You know, someone that you will feel for, that you will laugh with and laugh at and cry at the same time. I hope people, well, it seems to me that the people that have seen it, and I've been to see the film with some very tough cookies, you know, really hard-bitten people, and they've cried. And I thought, great, you know, I've moved them.
If you were to give us in a way a synopsis of the film, how would you describe it?
It's a film that starts as a comedy. You know, a man comes out of prison and he takes the only job he can get, which is driving around a very high-class prostitute, hooker, call girl, or whatever he wants to call her. And he falls in love with this woman, but yet the irony is his job is to drive her to have sex with everybody but him. Yeah? So it's a love story without any sex, surrounded by sex, you know.
He's a very ordinary man, with very ordinary sort of, he's naive, and his heart is right there. You know, he's and he's a fool, you know, and he falls, after being in prison, he falls in love with a black prostitute who is half his age, you know. And it's ridiculous, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous that this man gets himself into this. But once you get to know George, you understand why. He's a man desperate to love someone. You know, a man desperate to have someone to care about. Very lonely man.
Is there any saving grace in the film then?
No. There is, of course, yeah. I mean, it's a tragic story in the way that, I suppose, King Lear is a tragic story, and the way that Carmen is tragic. I suppose the saving grace really is the way the characters themselves learn through the journey they make in the film. You know? And the saving grace actually is that they are real. They're real and very deeply felt human people. You know, I think in the cinema nowadays, I get so tired and so depressed at seeing films that are not about the people, not about emotions, not about things you can touch and feel and that everybody can understand, you know? One gets tired of grand concepts and, you know, the kind of imposition of artificiality of the world of cinema. And in this we try to make it the most human film we could possibly make. You know?
Mona Lisa's universe is a very sordid one, although you didn't use the word yet, but it is, I mean, from what you're telling me, quite sordid. Is the sordid, in a way, fascinating to you?
The sordid?
Yes.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I mean, the film is like, it's a very sordid world, you know, it's like a sewer. And it's like people trying to search for moral perspectives and for the light in the middle of this sewer, you know? And it's a sordid universe, but yet it's not the characters are not sordid. They're noble, really.
Your film Mona Lisa comes to Cannes and represents Great Britain in the official selection. But what does Cannes represent for you, not only officially, but also officiously in a way?
I see. Yeah. Well, Cannes. It's hard to say. Cannes. I mean, it's the showpiece for world cinema, basically. I think. In terms of a filmmaker, America represents commercial success, but Cannes represents that kind of golden thing that you cannot buy, really. You know, I suppose success at Cannes represents something you cannot buy. You know?